Welcome to Get in the Ring with DJ D Coops and B Smut on the Social Suplex Podcast Network. Yes, it is. It's Get in the Ring with DJ D Cooks and Beats Mike.
It is. It is a very, we got the NFL is now kind of in the rearview mirror. I know we'll talk about that a little bit later. Obviously, the XFL coming up on Saturday.
They were trying to shove that down our fucking throats on Sunday.
Hey, Fox is going to be one of the networks broadcasting it. You got Fox. They got all the major networks except for NBC are broadcasting the XFL. You got Fox, you got ESPN, you got CBS. They're going to be doing games throughout the year, and they're all going to be on that. They're all going to be nationally televised. So you literally
it's gonna suck.
That's going to be the problem. The level of talent in that league itself is probably not going to be very good, and it's probably going to be. It may get ugly. It may be ugly. Good luck to it. Let's see if it actually does better than the first time they did this. But the level of competition, I don't know. This is probably not going to be all that great.
WWE Q4 calls tomorrow. Over under on how many Vince McMahon isms. How many times Vince McMahon refers to AEW tomorrow.
Well, usually the rule of thumb is if you think you're the best at something, you don't mention second place. But I don't think he mentions them. I think he's going to try his hardest not to. Simply because of the rule of thumb I just said. You don't mention second place if you're the best. And I think obviously he's probably looked at stuff that AEW's done, but I don't think he's going to actually mention them by name or mention them take pot shots at. He may take a pot shot. I think it's as close as he's gonna get, but I don't think he's gonna truly mention them, honestly.
Right. But I was just putting the over under at 1, but there's really not that much to talk about in wrestling this week. Jim Cornette is. I said I wasn't going to mention. God damn it! I wasn't going to mention his goddamn name. And I go right to Jim Cornette.
Oh, yeah, you didn't say to yourself you weren't going to mention that.
Jim Cornette.
This
is the fuck you Jim Cornette section of the show.
And then that's the first thing you that's the first thing you mentioned.
You're arguing with Dave Meltzer, who actually has raw analytical data, when you just talk out of your ass, Jim Cornette. So shut the fuck up, Jim Cornette. This is all we're going to mention of it. Your Twitter beef with your 30-year friend, you're going to end your friendship for AEW. Fuck you, Jim Cornette.
Over some really stupid stuff. It's clickbait at this point to me. I think it's really clickbait to me. It's clickbaity what Cornette I think tried to do. It just seems unnecessary. So yeah, that's it. That's all we need to really mention here. We don't need to go any further with this.
No, we don't. But I had to mention it. Where do you want to begin? Do you want to begin with match of the year? What's the wrestling?
Yeah, let's do MOTY. Yeah, let's go with MOTY.
We were gonna do Grappled 100. Grapple 100. But we decided to shelve it last week. We went over it on our call afterwards. Good list.
Mm-hmm.
I had eight of my top 10 matches. I'm going to reveal my ballot. I voted. My name is listed in the introduction in Sadness Village. I'm one of two Social Suplex contributors that voted in the Match of the Year poll.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Jeremy Donovan of Keeping It Strong Style voted in the Voice of Wrestling Match of the Year. Rapping Social Suplex. Very hard. So I'm going to get my ballot from my email. And there's probably going to be some quotes from mine because I worked hard on Google Forms. So Mike attempted to
This
fill
was
out
a very good list. A very diverse list from all over the world.
I'll send you the...
several people were mentioned.
I'll send you the links. I'll send you the tweet with
several. I have the list pulled up. I got the list pulled up here.
Do you have the introduction?
Yeah, Grapple 100, the Grapple 100 stuff. Grapple 100 best match of 2019.
We're doing Voices of Wrestling.
Oh, Voices of Wrestling. Okay, no, I had Grapple's list. I didn't see Voices of Wrestling. Is it identical to theirs, or is it
No, it's different, but
okay.
But they're up to 50 to 26. We'll do top 25 next week with Joe Gagne. Let me send you the link to the tweet with the. I haven't seen the full list yet, so I know it's not the same because they're.
I actually found it online. So let's see. Yeah, I actually found it online.
I can send it to you real quickly. It's a Twitter link. And then you can click the links.
Yeah, Voices of Wrestling Top 100. Okay, yeah, it was basically the same thing. I think.
And then click the introduction too because that has a bunch of matches on it as well. It's the top 200 and it had 290 matches.
Okay.
From 68 promotions.
Okay, I got the intro up here. The 8th annual Voices of Wrestling Match of the Year poll. The brainchild of VOW, Rich
Craich.
Craich? Okay, just Craich. Okay. It started in 2012 with a modest four-person panel of myself, Joe Lanza, Rich, VOW's, then PWG's reviewer Larry, and Billy Carpenter of Four Corners Radio. We selected the 10 best matches of the year, wrote short blurbs on why each match was selected, and combined the list to come up with a collaborative top 10. This produced a fine list of matches, but a list that was the product of four voters who, for the most part, are very similar tastes in wrestling. There was tons of crossover on the four lists, and while a impressive variety of 5 different promoters ultimately ended up being representative in our collaborative top 10, we were dealing with a tiny sample of size of voters who essentially watched and enjoyed the same pool of matches over the course of the year. The following year, for 2013, I approached Rich about expanding upon his original idea of extending invites to dozens of other wrestling critics. Each year in the world of film, there are media/critic polls rating the top films of the year, and there was nothing like those critics polls that had ever existed for wrestling matches. With that template in mind, we sent ballots to dozens of journalists, bloggers, radio hosts, podcasters, historians, reporters, and critics who we knew loved wrestling and had a reputation for a solid base of knowledge and strong opinions, and had quality endeavors that we could help expose our readers to in exchange for participating. We knew not everybody would respond, but we were quite pleased with who did, and we felt like the results did bear out the variety of matches and wrestling styles that we were seeking. 25 total voters responded by voting for over 90 matches in 23 different promotions. The group continued with the 2014 poll, and this kind of goes on like this. And they got like a full archive. So yeah, voicesofwrestling.com. They got a full archive of all the matches of the year, a full archive of the poll. No, they got like archives of every match that was
of the past. And
Right.
then this year, more records were broken with 136 different voters voting for 290 different matches across a record-tying 68 promotions. As the poll grows, so does the diversity of matches.
Mm-hmm.
So they list the pollsters' names. I'll leave you a few notables here. Alan Forel voted in this. Andrew Rich, Music of the Mat. Andy LeBaire, Charlie Robinson from Voices of Wrestling. Answering the 10 LSD Craig. Case Lowe from Chris Samsa. From New Japan. Dave Musgrave from Slam. Good friend of mine. Danny Kukler.
D. Kooks is on this list.
Yes, I am. Doug Fowler, Skeech from Reddit. Dylan Hales, Dylan Waco from IndependentWrestling.tv. We've had him on the show before. Greg Park from PW Torch. Jamesy from Post Wrestling. Joe Lanza, of course. Joe Gagne. We'll have him on next week. John Carroll, Joel Abraham, Jared Goldberg, Wrestling Bubble, Kelly Harris, Kevin Hare, Lee Malone from Voices of Wrestling, Liam Jones, whole bunch of other names. Rich Craich, of course. Of course, he voted in his own phone. Stephen Graham, PWO, The Cubs fan, Lucha Blog, and W.H. Park from Post Wrestling. A whole bunch of them. So, how the voting works?
Yes. Each voter was sent a ballot and asked to vote for the 10 best matches of the year, ranking them 1 through 10. We use the same weighted balloting system used by Major League Baseball for the most valuable player voting. First place vote worth 14 points, and descending 9, 8, 7, and so on from there. A system that places heavy emphasis on each voter's choice for best overall match of the year. The points for each match are totaled, and with any ties broken in the following order. Number 1, most total votes. Or number 2, match which received the highest singular vote on any ballot. For example, if 2 matches are tied in total points, one match appearing on more total ballots, it will not require the second step tiebreaker. The match appearing on the more total ballots would place higher. If 2 matches are tied in total points and remain tied, appearing on the same number of ballots, the match with the highest singular vote wins the tiebreaker. Each voter was also encouraged to add short blurbs explaining why they voted for each match. These blurbs give our panel a voice explaining why they voted for each match, and as we move deeper into the results, gives the reader multiple perspectives on why a given match was great. Our panel was free to vote on any worked match in the world that took place between January 1st of 2019 to all the way through the end of the year. And the long-term goal was to become the most comprehensive and respected MLTY poll in all of wrestling, while continuing to cross-promote the great ventures of our voter pool while exposing fans to matches that they otherwise never would have discovered. Please note indicate that... Okay.
Go on.
I might as well finish. There's like 2 paragraphs left. Please note that in cases of taped matches, some dates may reflect air dates, while others may reflect the day the match was taped. We'll begin today with a look at the honorable mentions, dubbed Sadness Village, by current staff members John Carroll, with a new chunk of matches released each day until we reveal the top 10 on Friday, February 7th, with a sneak preview of the top 10 to be released to our Patreon subscribers. So yeah, they got a little Patreon deal here.
Yes. So, Sadness Village, there's 290 matches, so we're going to do some notables. Cody versus Darby Allin got 1 10th place vote. I'm looking here.
That was a good draw.
From the Fyter Fest show.
Right.
There was a couple New Japan matches that got 1 vote. The Taichi versus Tomohiro Ishii match from G1. And the Taichi Ishimori, Dragon Lee, and Bandito 3-way from MSG. got one 10th place vote. In WWE, there was a lot of stuff.
So we got the first one that I saw here was Velveteen Dream and Matt Riddle from TakeOver Brooklyn.
No, I organized it by points, by 1 point, and the first one I saw was by lower points. So the first one I saw was Akira Tozawa, Gentleman Gallagher, Humberto Carrillo, Isaiah Scott, and Oni Lorcan versus Angel Garza, Arya Daivari, Drew Gulak, Mike Kanellis, and Tony Nese. The 10-man tag from 205 Live.
Okay, the way I had it organized, I had it by
you got it 3 points.
I had it by place. Okay.
Yeah.
So you did it by overall points. I see what you did.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still have the place.
Yeah, now I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah, now I see what you're saying. That was the highest honorable mention. Okay, I see what you're saying. Like the women's elimination chamber got a vote, which I thought was a good match. Becky and Asuka from the Royal Rumble last year got a vote.
And for some reason, some lunatic thought
the Hell in a Cell they put the Hell in a Cell something Bray on this list. They put the Hell in a Cell on this list.
We got some Gato move. Some voice. Joe Lanza is screaming in his house. No Gato move. We had several in New Japan. The Tetsuya Naito John Moxley match with at one vote, a 9th place vote, 0.7% of ballots. These are all matches that got 1 vote, or got 3 points, or got 2 votes in total, 3 points.
Matt Strong made the list. That was a good match. Riddle and Strong, and then Rhea Baszler when Rhea won the title. Riddle and Strong take over 25. That was a good match.
AEW from Double or Nothing. Lucha Bros with Young Bucks. I think people have seen Lucha Bros and Young Bucks enough.
I mean, granted, the ladder match was absolutely ridiculous. But this was the one before the ladder match.
Yeah, Double or Nothing.
Yeah, it's Double or Nothing.
That match was amazing, but...
Yes.
Zack Sabre Jr. Tomohiro Ishii from the 4th.
Oh, yeah, from the Dome, right.
Riho versus Nyla Rose. From an AEW TV. Amazing Red versus Will Ospreay only got 1 vote. I'm surprised about that. I thought that would have got some more traction.
Maybe not enough people saw it, I'm guessing.
Yeah, because it was on the Super J Cup stuff.
Yeah, probably not enough people saw it.
Got an 8th place vote.
That's probably why I didn't get the love that it probably you would think an Ospreay match with Amazing Red would.
It was really good. I watched it. It was really good. Kenta versus Zack Sabre Jr. from G1. And then Velveteen Dream versus Matt Riddle. And then there was a Kenny Omega Dragon Lee match from AAA too on the list as well. That I didn't like very much. I only got a 10th place vote, but, and I'll tell you why I didn't like that particular match that much. Oh yeah, here it is. It was right on top. Kenny Omega Dragon Lee. It was all the camera movement. Didn't I go on the show and bury that match?
I know you've buried matches for too much camera movement, or buried segments of camera movement before. Maybe not that one specifically, but I know you've done it.
It might have been Kenny's best match this year, but it was...
It was worn down. You weighed it down because the camera movement was just too much.
The next one is 4 to 7 points. I'll see what is here. Kazuchika Okada versus Sonata from from the anniversary show.
Mm-hmm.
324 got 2 votes, an eighth highest vote of 8th place. Jay White versus Will Ospreay. What's the 324 New Japan show? I forget which show. Because 36 was the anniversary show, and that's when White faced Ospreay, and that was a really good match. And then Oney Lorcan, Danny Burch versus Street Profits versus Forgotten Sons versus Undisputed Era.
That was a really good ladder match. I really did enjoy that Fatal 4-Way ladder match.
That got 2 ninth place votes.
Let's see. We got the men's War Games of Ciampa versus Undisputed Era.
Ooh. I thought that would do better.
I did too. It got the highest vote that it got was 7. Got 2 total votes, overall 7 points. So it got 1.5% of the ballot.
Pac Hangman Page got 1 7th place vote. The Jericho Omega only got 1 7th place vote.
I would argue that I think the New Japan one was better than the one they did in Chicago. AEW. Yeah, I thought the New Japan match was better, so I can understand why it didn't get the love that some would expect.
That's AJ Styles from Money in the Bank.
I thought that would be a little bit. Did I think it would make a top 10? Probably not, but I thought it would get a little bit more love.
Somebody placed at 7th, so 4 points for it. Rey Mysterio and Andrade from the 15th of January.
Their match was on Smackdown.
Adam Cole from 8-10. Not the.
That was the 2 out of 3 falls.
That was the TV match.
Wait, it was Cole and
Gargano.
Yeah, Cole and Gargano. They didn't have a TV match. That match was a takeover. That was takeover Toronto.
Johnny Gargano.
That was takeover Toronto.
Cole 8-10.
SummerSlam was early in August that year.
Oh yeah, it was the Toronto.
That was 2 out of 3. That was the 2 out of 3 falls.
Yeah.
We got
that was 2 out of 3 falls one. They faced off so many times this year that they faced off in 25.
They may have been in 3 straight takeovers, the 2 of them.
They faced off in New York, Toronto, and the Toronto one was the weakest one.
Toronto was the weakest. The one where Cole won.
Toronto was the weakest one, and it only got 1 7th place vote.
Right. No, the one in New York was easily the best of the 3. Even though
and that's going to do well. That one's going to do well.
Even though the Connecticut one was good, that was TakeOver 25. But New York was easily the best of the 3.
So there's a David Starr, Jordan Devlin from Progress.
Yep, that was the May 6th one.
Rey Mysterio Jr. versus Andrade from January 15th. That's the one where everyone was raving about.
That was the incredible one on SmackDown, where it got more. I think it would have got higher votes if we had a better finish. I remember Selena interfered in that one, which caused a DQ. But had that one had a clean finish, that one would have been I think it would have been much higher on the list.
I remember this one, watching it live on WrestleMania weekend. Mao versus Henshiro Takagi. It was a no DQ weapon rumble match from DDT. It got 1 6th place vote. Really a fun match. It's nothing I would have voted match of the year, but it's still very fun. Jay Briscoe, Mark Briscoe. Pete Dunne versus Joe Coffey got a vote.
Pete Dunne versus Joe Coffey got a 6th place vote.
Got a 6th place vote. Roderick Strong versus Dijakovic versus Lee got a vote.
Yep, that was a good triple threat. That also got a 6th place vote. The Dunne and Coffey one was TakeOver Blackpool 1. Right. And the Roddy Lee Dijakovic, that was a triple threat where Roddy retained his title.
That's wrong when Brock Lesnar got a 5th place vote.
That was the SummerSlam one, I believe.
Yep.
That was SummerSlam.
The ladder match from Ring of Honor's MSG show got a 5th place vote. Team Ciampa versus Undisputed Era got 2 7th place votes.
That was War Games. Let's see. Ospreay versus Phantasmo.
Oh, a lot of shit got a 1 4th place vote. Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Kenta.
Angel
Nothing.
Garza versus Leo Rush was hot. Okay. Garza versus Leo Rush that was the 7th place vote. That was a really good match. And Asuka and Kairi Sane versus Tegan Nox, Dakota Kai. That was also entertaining. So that's a list there, and then we got one more list of honorable mentions.
8 to 11 points.
8 through 11. Io Shirai versus Candice LeRae and take over Toronto. That was I think that was Candice LeRae's coming out party. I really think that was her coming out party.
Aleister Black, Ricochet, and Velveteen Dream versus Cole, Gargano, and Ciampa.
That was the highlight. That was the halftime heat match.
Yeah,
really good.
8 points, 2 ballots. The high vote was 5th place.
Sasha versus Becky from Hell in a Cell, which I thought would do higher than this.
Bandito versus Will Ospreay from WrestleCon. That's interesting. If more people saw that match, they would have done better. If it was on a less loaded weekend, it would have done better.
Okada versus Jay White from Wrestle Kingdom last year. That got a 5th
Wow.
Place. Yeah, that didn't make it. That got a 5th place vote.
Chamber. 1 third place vote.
I'm a little surprised the men's chamber didn't make the top 100.
1 third place vote.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised. And the men's chamber was really good last year. I'm a little surprised it didn't make the list. It didn't make the top 100. I'm a little surprised by that.
There's a couple of votes with 1 second place vote. The Dragon Lee versus Taiji Ishimori match from Best of Super Juniors. Pac versus Michael Oku. Is there anything with 1 number 1 vote? No.
Men's Chamber 2019. Yep, I got a 3rd. Yeah, a lot of them with a 3rd, but yeah, that's as
now let's get to 100. 76.
Oh no, there's match of the year, 260 to 102. Bunch of 102s. Most notables here. Okada versus. Oh no, we already got past that.
What was your most shocking match?
What? That didn't make the top 100?
Probably Okada White for me.
That it didn't make the top 100? Yeah, that's probably. Okada White was one that was surprising, didn't make it. I thought the men's chamber would make it. I thought Becky versus Sasha in Hell in a Cell. I thought that would make the top 100. I'm a little surprised that didn't make it.
It was 100 to 76.
Yeah, I'm surprised that one didn't make the top 100. I thought that's my biggest surprise probably.
100 through 76.
And now let's get now those that actually made the list. Let's see.
And I'll give you the other 2 links. For right now. While he's doing
that, we're gonna go match number 100. Tsuji Ishikawa and Suwama.
No, there's 2. There's 2 100s.
Oh, there's 2. Yeah, there is 2. There is 2. So we got a tie for 100. Ariza Hoshiki and
Hazuki
and versus Hazuki, and that's in Stardom from July 24th.
And we'll do the top 25 next week.
Mm-hmm.
Because it won't be released until next week.
Until Friday.
So
this match got 12 overall points. It got 3 total votes, and the highest vote was 5th.
That's impressive. Any comments on it?
To be fair, this is a match I really didn't see, so I can't really.
No, I mean, any comments?
Oh, yeah, there are comments on it. Okay, so this is from Dylan Fox. All that needs to be said. The best near fall of the year in La Hasuki Stroll. Must watch for that alone. The crowd was absolutely nuts, and true hatred was shown between 2 unexpected enemies. Hoshiki was great yet again, and Hazuki was very missed at the start of 2019. Can't wait to see what happens next in both of their careers. Dylan Fox.
Number 100, tied for 100. Sometimes they're on tiebreakers. 12. Tsuji Ishikawa and Tsuwama versus Yuji Okabayashi and Daisuke Sekimoto. 319 All Japan Pro Wrestling. 12 overall points. 3 total votes. 5th place. Strong BJ and Violent Giants had an awesome match in January, and 2 months later, this rematch was even better. They took everything great about their first encounter and went a whole nother level. This was a clash of the strength and power, and taking everyone to its limits. Ishikawa and Okabayashi had tremendous exchanges, and if you want to see 4 guys destroying each other, this is your match. Jin Malkavar. Ooh, number 99. We don't have to read comments for everyone.
Yes. So yeah, let's just rip through a lot of these. Caveman Ugg versus Jack Bonza. This is from October 19, PWA Australia. They got 12 overall points, 3 total votes, and the highest rating was 5th. Hiroshi Tamahashi.
Oh, this was Kushida's go-away match. I watched.
Okay. This is the match before he left, before he came to NXT. All right, word.
This was really good. This was really fucking good. That fuck you slap to Tanahashi. Kushida's like, fuck you! And I'm like, holy fuck!
I didn't think it was like that. But he fought Hiroshi Tanahashi versus, and just like 99, it got the same amount of points, votes, and highest rating. The highest vote.
Number 97.
Daniel Makabe. Okay.
Versus Jonathan Gresham. 3-2-1 battle. 12 overall points, 3 total votes. Highest point, highest vote second. An indie dream match that is worth every bit of the hype it has received. Andy Gobert. Number 96.
Invisible Man versus Invisible Stan. 12 overall points, 4 total votes. The highest vote was second, and D. Coops is laughing hysterically.
This match is available for free online.
I'll try to find it because just the names alone make this kind of funny.
And it's invisible.
Invisible.
The referee has glasses. It's comedy. It works legitimately in a pro wrestling sense. It has to be seen to be believed.
Okay. And
I'll send you a link to this match.
The description is by Shane Doyle. A love letter to the pro wrestling referees. A love letter to the live wrestling audience. A love letter to pro wrestling storytelling. This is more than the best comedy match of all time. A hill I will happily die on. What's so great about it is that it wholly works in a legit pro wrestling sense. There's no rules being broken. There's no wrestler breaking character or kayfabe being stomped. There's nothing to anger the Corvette crew, although they still got mad online about it. It's just a ref and the production team putting on a show with a cameo from Kitsutara. Like the Hollywood Globetrotters or a halftime show. Wonderful professional wrestling.
That's what I loved about it. It's just everybody putting on a freaking show. And you'll watch it after.
Yes, I will. Giula versus Hana Kumara, Christmas Eve Stardom. It got a 13 overall points, 2 total votes, and its highest vote was second.
That's impressive for a match that happened on Christmas Eve.
You're not kidding.
Walter versus Ray Phoenix.
You have a feeling that Walter's going to be mentioned a lot on this list.
Oh.
Ray Phoenix probably will get his share of love as well. 13 overall points, 3 total votes, and the highest vote was 5th.
93. Jake Lee and Naoya Nomura versus Kento Miyahara and Yuma Oyagi from All Japan Pro Wrestling. 13 points, 3 votes. 5th. Oh shit. 92 from Bloodsport. Masashi Takeda versus John Gresham from Bloodsport. This was awesome.
13 overall votes, 3 total votes, and the highest rating was third.
This was a fucking
Okada
sprint,
versus
man.
Tanahashi.
That was great. That was great. That was a great match. 91. Kazuchika Okada and Hiroshi. In a year where Kazuchika Okada and Hiroshi Tanahashi finished 91st.
Let's let that breathe for a second. These are two of the 10 best wrestlers of the decade, and they had a match that finished 91st on this list. That is actually amazing to think about. The highest vote this was from the what am I thinking? This is from G1, I would believe.
Yeah, this is G1.
This got 13 overall points, 3 total votes, and its highest overall rating was second. Ospreay versus Bandito. Ospreay's a guy we're going to hear a lot from on this list. Best for Super Juniors for May 23rd. Got a highest vote was third. Total votes were 4. Overall points 13.
And then we have some first place votes.
Oh, we got a first place vote. Yeah, we did.
85. Brett Eisen versus Alley Cat from SUP. That's Southern Underground Pro Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
One first place vote, 14 overall points. Rumble Watanabe versus Tam Nakano, Stardom, 14 points, 1 vote, 1 first place vote. And Mio Momono versus Takumi Ihara from Marvelous, 14 points, 1 vote, 1 first place vote.
You got Star Jr. versus Valente versus Fugas and Mystico from CMLL October 18th. It got a first place vote. That was its lone vote in this on this countdown.
Darby Allin versus Jon Moxley.
Allin versus Mox. It got a first place vote. Also tied for at 85. It got a first place vote. This was a good match with Darby Allin. This was
a very good match.
It really was. Our first WWE match on the list. Brock Lesnar versus Finn Balor. And this was actually a very good match. I really did enjoy this match. And the story it told about Brock's diverticulitis.
I don't think we'll be seeing WWE all that much.
It doesn't look like it. I'm over under 5 matches on this list that are WWE.
I'm going under main roster. For main roster WWE, under. I think we're...
for main roster, absolutely under.
For main roster, yeah.
For main roster, Kobe Bryant's going to make the list, obviously. But other than that one, is there another main roster WWE that's going to make it? Other than Kofi Bryant.
And this one.
And this one here. Other than these two. I don't know. I don't know. The rest of them, I think, are NXT.
Yeah. Hiroki Goto, Big Tom Ishii.
Goto versus Ishii. This was its highest vote was second. 2 overall votes and 15 overall points. Kenta Miyahara versus Jake Lee on April 29. Its highest vote was 7, but got 15 overall points and 4 total votes. Omega and Riho versus Antonio Hanna and Miyu Yamashita. This is from DDT on November 3rd. It got a first place vote and it got 2 overall votes overall for 16 points. Ofina, Laredo Kid, Arias, Black Taurus, we're at 80 by the way. KTB, Gringo Loco. All these people were involved in this match from BLP and GCW. 16 overall points, 3 total votes, and its highest rating was 4th. I made the list. We've got
Jay White versus Kazuchika Okada from MSJ.
Mm-hmm. This was an MSG show. 16 overall points, 3 total votes, and its highest rating was 3rd. Walter versus David Starr. Now this was not the match that you suggested last week. Oh no, that was Devlin. That was Walter and Devlin. But this is Walter and David Starr, who I think they alluded to it in the match that David Starr couldn't beat Walter.
Right.
So,
And this refers to this feud.
It definitely did refer to this feud a few times. But this is at 78, 17, 3, and 4th. Its numbers.
What did you think of that match last week, though?
Oh, it was dope. No, that match was dope. And it really showed Devlin can be a face if he really has to be. I love the crowd in the match. I love how the imposing big bad villain that Walter is. I love how he plays that character so well. I think that was a really well done match. I like how a lot of the roster came together to make sure Walter couldn't run in the end. I thought that was awesome. So I think it played really well. I was a big fan of that match. That was really entertaining.
Akito versus Asuka, and this is not the Asuka from WWE. This is a one light tube death match.
Huh, okay. 17, 4, and 4th are its 3 numbers of overall points, total votes, and highest vote. Here. Big Mami versus Lady Maravilla from AAA. This is from 10 days before Christmas. So we're talking 17, 6, and 6 are its numbers.
Yeah.
And that, I believe, is what finished. Yeah, that's what finished this part of the deal. That's what got us to set. That's what got us through the first part of this countdown.
75. Joey Janela versus Chris Statlander. 612 Beyond Wrestling. 18 points, 5 votes, 5th overall place. I'm shocked that this is only on 4 ballots.
I'm a little shocked this is lower than I thought it would be. This next one.
Well,
Ospreay versus Ibushi in the Dome.
19 points. This is why. This is 4 votes. Highest vote, 4th place. Let's just go. I didn't even vote for it.
Nice.
Momo Watanabe versus
a little shocking that it was in the Dome.
Hayashishita. 19. This got the same amount of points as Will Ospreay versus Kota Ibushi. Just to put it in context. Oh shit! Yes! Yes! Masashi Takeda versus Jimmy Ward.
All right. So tell them why you spazzing right now. Tell them why you spazzing right now.
Because this was a 9-minute death match of crazy shit. It had scissors, light tubes, knives, and weed whackers, and it was glorious.
But we get some weed whackers in matches now.
Wife Beater used the weed whacker in the match in 2002. We got to see all the greatest hits. Boomer Hatfield versus Dasher Hatfield from Shakara. 20 points, 2 votes, 1 first place vote.
It fought over the family mask. It's like that. Wow. Father versus son for the right to the family mask. That is wild right there.
Don't try to make sense with Shakara's storylines with me.
I won't, but that's just the fact that that's the billing of this whole deal. That right there is surprising. Let's see. We're at 70 now. Dominic Garini and versus Joshua Bishop. This was April 4th. 23 and 2nd. Dylan James versus Yuji Okabayashi. This is 69 on April 20.
Oh, you're not gonna like this one.
24 and 4th. Walter versus Dunn. Wow, this is a bit low. This is lower than I expected from NXT. This was TakeOver New York.
Is this my first one done? Is this my first one done?
Yeah, I think this is the first one with this is definitely the first one they had together. Walter versus Pete.
No, I would beat Walter. I'm good.
Yeah, bait Walter was I
had Okada Sonata from G1. Mm-hmm. My ballot. I forgot to say my ballot.
Yeah.
Okada Tsunami from G1. Tyler Bate Walter from Takeover Cardiff.
Yeah.
Jordan Devlin from Walter from 5th year anniversary OTT. Okada Ospreay from Korakuen Hall. Takagi Naito from Korakuen Hall. Shingo Takagi versus Tomohiro Ishii from G1. Adam Cole versus Johnny Gargano, New York. Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Kenny Omega, the Dome. Shingo Takagi versus Will Ospreay. That's Super Juniors. Jordan Devlin versus David Starr.
And Devlin and Starr was your number one.
Yes.
And let's see. That was that one. Walter versus Pete Dunne.
I was really close to voting for Walter versus Pete Dunne. Really close.
That was an excellent match. It really was. Shoko Nakajima versus Yuki Sakazaki. This was from November 3rd, DDT. It got a first place vote and 2 overall votes, 21 points. Danny Makabe versus Timothy Thatcher in a 3-2-1 battle on July 12th. 22, 3, and 3rd were its numbers. T-Hawk versus Shuji Kondo on May 3rd. Wrestle 1, 23, 2, and it did get a first place vote. This match I liked a lot too. Callahan versus Tessa Blanchard.
From Impact.
Yeah, I like this match. This was July 7th, 23, 3, and 2nd. I like this match. This was entertaining, and the story leading up to it was also very good. So I'm happy this got love. I'm happy this got the love that it did.
Tsuji Ishikawa and Sawama versus Daisuke Sekimoto and Yuji Okabayashi from Big Japan. Holy fuck, you're not gonna like this one.
Oh, would it have gone in my top 10? Probably not, but I did love this match. Gargano, Ricochet, and Takeover Phoenix. This was highly entertaining between these two. A little different to see Gargano as a heel, but I think he played that character very well. And they kind of implemented some stuff that from the Ciampa rivalry that I thought was a very nice touch. To Gargano winning his first singles title in NXT. Highly
Moxley
entertaining.
versus Robinson from Best Junior Final. I had 1 first place vote, 4 votes, 24 points.
Women's War Games is at 60. 25, 6, and 4th. A lot of stuff happened here. I think all of it made sense. And I love that you basically got 2 storylines out of it. The 2 Australians, or the 2 New Zealanders, of Dakota Kai and Tegan Nox. And then you got the which I thought was great. And you got the story of Rhea Ripley and Shayna stuff that was going on that was really good. And like everyone showed out and balled out during this match. I loved all this. This was highly entertaining from start to finish.
Risa Hoshiki versus Jungle Kiona.
This is from Stardom. It got a first place vote, 26 overall points and 5 total votes.
Barbaro Cavernario versus Titan.
This was February 22nd, 27-4, and it did get a first place vote. Naito versus Ibushi.
The New Japan Cup. My birthday. Where they dropped each other on their necks gloriously for my day of birth.
27, 6, and 4th are the numbers for Naito versus Ibushi. Ospreay versus A-Kid.
This match is awesome.
On March 30. 27, 6.
Oh, I love this match.
You talking about this one or you talking about Pac versus Cara Noir?
Both. Ospreay A-Kid is so good. I'll send you the link to that one.
Okay. So Ospreay yet again, getting it in.
Ospreay versus A-Kid is so good. And then both are up for free on YouTube.
Pac versus Cara Noir on Riptide. We're talking.
That match is so good.
July 5th. 27, 6,
Holy
2nd.
crap. That match, Pac That was close to making my list.
Mm.
If my list had 15 spots,
Which teams and matches that would make that list?
yeah, Pac versus Karen Noir would definitely would make my list.
Next up, we got Chihiro Hashimoto versus Sabri. This was Sonata Sendai Girls on June 8th. 29-7-3. Momo Watanabe versus Jungle Kiona on March 3rd. At Stardom, 29-8 in second. Shingo Takagi versus
Oh,
Shingo.
I love this match. Yeah.
Shingo was so good last year. Shingo had an incredible year. A lot of good stuff there. May 13th, 36 and highest vote was 5th. Okada versus Ishii. This match was good. 36th and second. This is number 51, and that's how this part ends.
Number
51. So now we're going to the top.
This was good. Daisuke Sekimoto and Walter versus Yuji Hino and Yuji Okabayashi.
31, 6, and 3rd.
This was pretty good.
This was like Mercedes Martinez. All right. 31, 6, 7, and 2nd. Interesting.
48. Kento Miyahara versus Naoya Nomura. 1 first place vote. 432.
32 overall points. Yep. Let's see here. We've got
Ben K versus Masaki Mochizuki.
This is Dragon Gate. 32-5 and second was his highest vote. We got
Hanson versus Ricochet and Black.
This was dope. This is from TakeOver New York. This actually kicked off TakeOver New York's main show. 37-7 and second. This was a really, really good match. I can agree with this first statement here by Novelist. In most underrated match of the year. This was really, really good, and this was probably the best. It was definitely the best TakeOver to me last year. Was TakeOver New York. I thought this was a really good TakeOver from start to finish. So I can completely understand the sentiment here. Jericho versus Naito in the Dome. This was probably my favorite match of last year's Wrestle Kingdom. This was a very good match from start to finish. Slightly over, to me, Okada Jay White I thought was second. I really did enjoy that Okada Jay White because of the story surrounding the Rainmaker and how Okada couldn't hit it. But this match was really good, and I love how Jericho played it out. This was the start of Jericho's incredible year, and Naito, who killed it as kind of the guy kind of defending New Japan's honor in a sense. So this was fun.
44. Will Ospreay.
Ospreay versus Robbie Eagles. 39 votes.
First. 43 is the first Star Devil one from OTT.
Star versus
not the one from October. That's going to be
not the classic, but we don't see that. That's probably next week. We're going to see that next week. But yeah, Star and Devlin. This is Star Devlin 1. 39, 10, and 3rd. Where it's numbers. Ariza Oshiki versus Tan Nakano. That's June 16th.
Mike, the Joshi universe is gonna be like strangling your name. Like Arisa Hoshiki.
Arisha Hoshiki. Oh, these are names that are new. I must admit, these are names that are new to me. So I'll try to pronounce them as best I can.
Mike does not watch Stardom, my friend.
I did not get into I am not into Stardom yet. I have not I've always into Stardom.
I haven't watched my fair share of Stardom yet. I know some of my Social Suplex boys are trying to get me into it. And I will oblige.
Let's see. Next up, we got at 40, Kota Ibushi versus Will Ospreay.
We skipped one. Hiroshima versus...
Yeah, that's right. Hiroshima versus Konosuke Takeshita on December 3rd. Yeah, 42-5, and it got the first place vote. That's 41. Now we get to 40 of Ibushi Ospreay. This is Ibushi Ospreay from G1. 43-10 and 3rd was his highest vote.
Oizanka voted in this as well. a reliable.
Rocky Romero versus El Phantasmo. This is 39th from New Japan, May 24th. 44-8, and they got a first place vote.
Oh, the Shingo Dragon Lee from Best of the Super Juniors. Holy fuck, that man.
This was 38th. 44-9, and they got a first place vote.
Sarai versus Meiko Satomura.
They get a first place vote. 45-8, and they got a first place vote here. Walter versus David Starr. This is on the June 23rd. 44-11, and they got a third place vote.
Did I vote that one?
I mean, you just revealed your
I voted Walter Devlin, not Walter.
You voted Walter Devlin. Naito versus
Ibushi.
Naito versus Ibushi. This is from April 6th.
MSG.
WrestleMania weekend. And 48-10, and they did get a first place vote. Metallica versus Virus. May 31st, CMLL.
Virus. Virus is how he says it.
Oh, Virus. Okay. 51-8 and second.
This one's good. Yuki Ishikawa versus Timothy Thatcher, who just got signed to WWE, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that. Him and Killer Cross. I saw that they were both two major signees to WWE. I saw that yesterday. They're going to be in the PC for a minute. I did see that. 53-7 and second, where it's two it's numbers for number. 32.
I love 32. Black Taurus, Laredo Kid, Puma King versus Bandito, Flamita, and Rey Hoarders. It's just luchadors doing crazy shit.
Okay.
In PWG, the best place to do crazy shit at.
All right.
And they threw money in the ring afterwards.
Nice. He basically said, "Shut up and take our money." Nice, I like it.
Shut up, and we'll take your money. We raining down coins on the Mexicans.
53-9 and the first place vote for this match. Laredo Kid versus El Higo
del Vikingo. Yes,
Vikingo.
This match was fucking good.
June 9th, we're looking at 55-9 in the first place vote. It's at 31. Now we're in the top 30. Ibushi Okada from the finals of the A block final, I think it was. It was one of the block finals from G1.
A block final.
It was A block, yeah. 59-10. Yes, Jay White won block B. 59-10 in the first place vote.
Oh, my heart's broken. I just looked ahead.
Okada versus Minoru Suzuki on August 31st. We're talking 60-13, and they got a first place vote. That's 29. Naito versus Ibushi on June 9th. Oh, June 9th show must have been dope. Let's see here. 62.
That's Dominion.
Oh, that's Dominion. Okay, 62-9 in the first place vote. That's number 28. 27. Ooh, wow. Okay, that's Devin Walter from March 16th. That's not the one you were talking about.
I just saw two straight of my matches.
Wait, no, the Devin Walter, I thought that was later in the year.
No, Devin Walter is 316.
Oh, okay, that was the date. Oh, wow. Highest vote was second, which is you.
No, mine was 8th.
Oh, yours was 8th. Oh, okay. Okay, that's not yours. Yeah, that's not you. But it made your top 10, and I did watch this match last week. I did enjoy it. It was really good. Love the action in it. Love the drama. Love the crowd. How hyped the crowd was. I love the commentators. The commentators were awesome. I love the commentators here in the match as well.
And then double in my heart, Okada Sonata from G1 went 10th match.
That's 26th. Yeah. Okay.
So I have 8 matches going into the top 25.
Yep, you have 8 matches.
Technically, I have all my matches in the top 30.
All your matches in the top 30, but your top 8 will probably make the top 25. So there you go. So that's your look at what matches, basically 260.
My top 7 is all in the top 25.
Basically from 260 to 26. That's effectively what we just did, is look up all these matches here. and look up how they were. So that's what your top matches of the year will be. So that's what your top matches of the year will be. So that's what your top matches of the year will be. So that's what your top matches of the year will be. So that's what your top matches of the year will be. So that's what your top matches of the year will be. So that's what your top matches of the year will be. So that's what your top matches of the year will be. So that's what your top matches of the year will be. So that's what your top matches of the year will be. So that's what your top matches of the year will be. So that's what your top matches of the year will be. So that's what your top matches of the year will be. So that's what your top matches of the year will be. So that's what your top matches of the year will be. So that's what your top matches of the year will be. So that's what your top matches of the year will be. So that's what your top matches of the year will be. So that's what your top matches of the year will be. So that's what your top matches of the year will be. So that's what your top matches of the year will be. So that's what your top matches of the year will be. So that's what your top matches of the year will be. So that's what your top matches of the year will be. So that's what your top matches of the year will be. So that's what your top matches of the year will be. So that's what your top matches of the have been so far for 2019. But I guess to take it back to bring it up to 2020, probably should go over some stuff that happened here. Let's see. The last thing we really didn't do was SmackDown. The previous SmackDown that happened.
Oh, God.
As SmackDown tries to put pieces together after the Royal Rumble. The first segment was Roman Reigns and the Usos. They were going to have a 6-man tag with Corbin and his court. Roman Reigns decided to raise the stakes, where the person who got involved got pinned or was made to submit has to eat dog food. Because obviously that's what started this whole thing, of Reigns getting dog food shoved all over him. This segment was kind of bad. Let's see here. Heavy Machinery versus Revival versus Miz and Morrison versus the Lucha House Party. This was a fatal 4-way match for the tag title, number 1 contendership for New Day's tag titles. And as needed, Miz and Morrison got the job done. This was a solid match, but it was Miz and Morrison getting it done and getting the pin with Starship Pain, with Skull Crushing Finale and Starship Pain by Miz and Morrison. So they are the number 1 contenders for the tag titles. I'd imagine the shot's going to come in Elimination Chamber against the New Day. We're getting a dirt sheet on Friday. I'm here for this. We're going to get
all here for this.
Turn. The dirt sheet's going to be great. So that is awesome. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville versus Alexa and Nikki. Bliss and Cross with the win, beating Fire and Desire. But the main story from this, from the night between Fire and Desire, was that Mandy Rose is going to go on a date with.
Shut up,
Otis.
Alexa! Shut up.
Oh right, that's right. He's got one of those. But yeah, it's Lomas Bliss and Nikki get the win, but it's going to be Mandy Rose going on a date with Otis for Valentine's Day. So that storyline continued. Nakamura versus Braun Strowman for the Intercontinental Championship. It worked out as probably as much as people would expect. Sami Zayn and Cesaro did their best to try to save the title for Shinsuke, but ultimately the strength and power of Braun Strowman was just way too much. Strowman wins the match. Strowman becomes the new Intercontinental Champion. Finally, Strowman gets the singles title in WWE. So we'll see what Braun can do with the IC title. Good luck trying to beat him. Sheamus versus Shorty G. They ran it back from the Royal Rumble. This match was actually good, too. I will say, these are 2 pretty good matches between these 2 guys. I want to see, obviously, them Sheamus fight better competition. Not that Shorty G is bad, but Sheamus is obviously going to try to figure his way, I'm sure, into better competition and better stuff. I like to see him versus Strowman. I think that would actually be a pretty entertaining feud. But Sheamus gets it done with a Brogue to the Dome, beating Chad Gable, and continuing his way back. Let's see here. We've got Naomi interrupting Bayley as Bayley beats Lacey Evans and is moving onward and upward to the next thing. I don't know what that helmet thing was on Naomi's head, but it was very interesting. And it seems obvious it's going to be Naomi's going to go after the SmackDown Women's Championship and try to win it for a 3rd time. Naomi versus Bayley should be good though, so I'm here for this. And now we get to the main event. Reigns and the Usos, aka the Bloodline, versus Corbin and his court. Ultimately, it was Reigns getting the pin. This match was okay. Nothing special. Kind of a little bit lesser version of the match that happened the previous week. But it was Reigns getting the pin over Corbin on a roll-up. Corbin was handcuffed and forced to eat dog food as the Usos posed for trolling pictures. So that was really SmackDown. Show was okay. Nothing really special. Goldberg's apparently going to be on the show this week. I don't know what he's doing. But Goldberg's apparently going to be on the show this week.
Saudi Arabia.
That's clearly as Goldberg is trying to redeem himself for that garbage that was last year at Blood Money 3. Let's take it to Raw.
Japan had 2 shows over the weekend. New Beginning in Sapporo. Night 1.
Okay.
2 matches to go over here. Kazuchika Okada and Jon Moxley teamed for the first time ever. To take on Tai Chi and Jon Moxley. Tai Chi and Suzuki beat Okada and Moxley as Suzuki takes the Gotch pile driver to Jon Moxley. This was pretty good. Here,
so you like building up what? Suzuki versus Mox for the U.S. title?
for the U.S. title for the New Beginning in Osaka. next weekend, the 9th.
Okay.
Evil and Big Tom Ishii, they just beat the shit out of each other. Lariats, headbutts, bombs. They just beat the shit out of each other. 4.5-star match.
The stuff you would expect from those two.
Tremendous pacing in the ear falls. Hard hitting. Just Big Tom Ishii being Big Tom Ishii. Beats Evil in 21-15. Hiroki Goto versus Shingo. Shingo wins. Last of the Dragon pins Goto. And Shingo is the never openweight champion.
You should be good with that belt. That's going to be nice.
We want a fucking Shingo Big Tom never openweight championship feud.
That would actually be good. That would actually be very good.
Again, these two big brooding monsters beat the living shit out of each other gloriously. And it was a beautiful war of hosses. Just simple. Bombs, lariats, chops.
And defense is optional.
So, yep. That's that. And then New Beginning in Sapporo Night 2. So, your two favorite wrestlers, Zack Sabre Jr. and Will Ospreay.
Mm-hmm.
When you hear that music, elevate me to the sky, whoa! You know you're in for an excellent match.
Mm-hmm. That's my favorite combination of wrestlers in wrestling today. Is Ospreay versus that's my favorite one-on-one. Is Ospreay versus Sabre. Definitely is my favorite one-on-one.
And they fucking delivered because Sabre fucking beat him. Ospreay tries to hit a shooting star, hits a shooting star. Short Stormbreaker is countered again. Sabre gets its Cobra Trips, counters. Ospreay counters like in G1, but Sabre has the cover twist in for too long and Ospreay passes out. 28 minutes of gloriousness. So it was beautiful wrestling. And then Okada Taichi was their match. They tried to sell Taichi as Okada's equal, and they forced the narrative, but it was a good match. They hit Okada hit all its greatest hits, so very good stuff. I would go shade under 4 for Okada Taichi. I go 4 3/4 for Ospreay Sabre. Raw was pretty good.
Raw actually was good. Raw was actually
not to say that New Japan wasn't good.
No, but Raw had a lot of good stuff to really dive into here.
The Randy Orton stuff was pretty.
And I love this, and the crowd played right into it. That's what made this segment really good. It's the fact that Orton didn't explain anything. Okay, fine, but the fact that the crowd made sure that he couldn't. Hey, I think that was awesome. Like, every time Orton tried to speak, the crowd was on him. This was like Roman Reigns peak booing good. How hot the crowd was.
No, with the Roman Reigns stuff, it was pure apathy. With Randy Orton, you want to see this Edge kick his ass. With Roman Reigns, it's pure apathy.
No, not now, but like back when Roman Reigns was getting booed out of built like
2015. When we were in the building for that shit. When we were fed up.
I would argue like 2017 the year when he fought Taker to close WrestleMania. Yeah, that's 2017. Well,
I meant 2015.
I meant 2015
he won the Rumble. I meant 2015 when not you, but
not me. I was one of the few that actually wanted Reigns to win. Cause I wanted to see Reigns Lesnar, but a lot of people were they booed him heavy. But Orton was booed hard, by the crowd on Raw, and I thought it really led into the story very well. So I'm here for this.
Let's not talk about it. Move on. Ruby Riott.
Ruby Riott coming back is a good thing, but other than that, let's not have this. McIntyre disposed of Mojo Rawley fairly quickly. We're keeping keeping Drew McIntyre going. That's the whole point of this whole rivalry. So that's the whole point of this. So good job. Drew did his part. Let's see. Next up, this is a good 6-man tag. Kevin Owens with Viking Raiders versus Buddy Murphy and AOP. This was a good 6-man tag. It's unfortunate that Hanson got hurt at the start of it, or kind of like part of the way through. And then so he was out of the match, and then Rowe got stomped by Rollins. Eric got stomped by Rollins on the outside. While so that was the first elimination, and so Owens was basically 3-on-1 with Seth's crew. Ivar was the one that dove directly into the LED board, so he hurt his shoulder. He was out of the game. So he took out Buddy Murphy with a pop-up powerbomb, and then he got a stunner on Akam to get him out. But Razor was a little bit too much, and he's the muscle. He's the bigger version of the AOP. He ended up winning the match with some spine busters. But this was a good match. This was a good 6-man tag between the 6 of them. This is entertaining. Alistair versus Eric Young. Alistair doing his part to kick people in the face as hard as he possibly can. Alistair gets it done with Black Mass. I want to see Alistair do more stuff with better competition. The Buddy Murphy stuff was great. I don't know why they stopped that. Like, we need to see Alistair with doing more stuff with better opponents. This was entertaining. I like this segment a lot. So this was going to be look like Angel Garza versus Humberto Carrillo as Angel debuts on Raw. But they got into a good fight. This is a quality fight with Garza getting the best of it. It looked like he was going to finish off Humberto until Rey Mysterio came out to make the save. Which turned into a good one-on-one between Mysterio versus Angel Garza. And ultimately, it was Garza DDT Rey Mysterio's face into the concrete, similar to how Andrade got it last week. But this is a very good segment. I'm a fan of this. I like how the flow was going here. Really, really well done. When Rey and Andrade get back, I'd love to see a tag match between the 4 of them. It's highly entertaining.
Charlotte talks and does nothing, but then Rhea comes out to really make this segment hot. And there's more on this on NXT. We'll get to NXT in a little bit. But Charlotte doesn't make her move, but Rhea then suggests, why not fight me for the NXT Women's Championship? A move that I would be all for. I think that's going to be very entertaining. I'd be totally cool with it. But Charlotte, again, doesn't make her decision, but Rhea made things very interesting. Again, more on that when we get to NXT. Asuka versus Natty was highly entertaining. I thought this was a very good match between the 2 of them. I thought they were really, really good together. Real good chemistry. Real good physicality between the 2. Natty, as she showed on Twitter, has got a little bit of a bruise. It looked like a shiner above her right eye, or below her right eye. She got a little bit of a bruise there. But it was a very good match nonetheless. Asuka finally put Natty away with the Asuka lock, but this was highly entertaining. This led to Asuka and Kairi Sane double teaming Natty, and Becky Lynch making the save. Becky and Asuka are going to run it back. I would imagine at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view in Philly. I'd imagine that's when this is going to go down. But this was a very good match. We close with a triple threat match of Rollins, Lashley, and Ricochet. Winner gets Brock Lesnar at a Blood Money 4, a.k.a. Super Showdown. This was a pretty solid triple threat, and we thought Rollins' crew came out to try to help out Seth and make it basically a layup for him to go face Brock, but they were fought off by Ivar and Kevin Owens. They made the save, making this a one-on-one, and ultimately it was Ricochet getting it done and pinning Seth Rollins to win the match. Then after this, Brock Lesnar immediately F5'd with no hesitation. He got F5, and Ricochet got F5 to close the show. So it's going to be Lesnar versus Ricochet at Super Showdown, a.k.a. Blood Money 4. That's going to be entertaining.
That actually should be very entertaining. Lesnar's I don't know. Brock Lesnar's going to try to throw him back to North America. I think that's how far he's going to try to throw him. I mean, he's going to try to Oh, Ricochet's going to be
If
tough.
Flight doesn't get Ricochet there, Lesnar will.
Yeah, really, exactly. Exactly right. Exactly right. Lesnar's going to throw. Oh, man, he's going to throw him so much. You want to do AEW or do you want to do NXT next?
Do NXT.
All
I
right,
want to see who returned.
NXT was good tonight, and a lot of stuff happened here. So here's how this go down as we get closer to Takeover Portland coming up. Bruiserweights promised to become NXT Tag Team Champions. This was a good opening segment. A lot of talking between the Bruiserweights and really Fish and O'Reilly setting up their tag match at Takeover Portland. More on this later on. Angel Garza versus Swerve Scott. This was a pretty good first match. As Garza alone goes to face Swerve. It was Swerve that got pinned at Worlds Collide to lose Garza's NXT Cruiserweight Championship to Jordan Devlin. Good match. Good one-on-one. And Garza would get the pin with a wing clipper, but this was highly entertaining from start to finish. And this led to Garza coming after. He's stating he's coming after Devlin. More on Jordan Devlin later on. Good match, though. Dijakovic versus Killian Dane. This match was set up in the PC earlier on in the day. And this turned into Dijakovic having to beat the bigger Killian Dane. And what was a solid match. Not great. Not as good as Damian Priest versus Dijakovic, but a solid match. It was Dijakovic getting it done with the Feast Your Eyes. Keith Lee then came out to the stage, and they made it official on the stage. This is my favorite one-on-one combination in WWE right now. Lee Dijakovic 4 for the North American Championship at TakeOver Portland. We're finally getting a TakeOver match between Lee and Dijakovic, and it's for the North American Championship. I'm here for this. Let's go.
What?
Balor and Gargano had a really good verbal confrontation between the two of them. There was a lot of heat and animosity in the rooms between the two. This is gonna be a serious fight at TakeOver Portland between the two. I'm here for this. So that was good. That was a good segment. Mercedes Martinez versus Casey Catanzaro. This was a solid match. Kind of a what your advertising situation for the two of them, but I think it had big futures in NXT and the women's division. By the way, NXT women's division is incredibly strong. I wish a couple of these women would go to UK because that division is weak to me. But the NXT women's division in the States is deep and talented with a whole lot of flows and a whole lot of styles. Very good division. Solid match between the two. Nothing special, but solid match. So the first part of the deal, you Undisputed Era pretty much throughout the first hour of the show, we're looking for Tommaso Ciampa because Ciampa jumped Fish, Strong, and O'Reilly last week and beat him up with lead pipes, and then basically sealed his match with Cole for TakeOver Portland with a powerbomb through the table. X marks the spot, if you will. More on that later. They finally found Ciampa. Well, Ciampa really found them in pretty much the same spot that he jumped them last week. Ciampa got the drop on Fish, Strong, and O'Reilly in the back, and then fought Cole out of the ring until Undisputed Era came out to subdue him and make this a 4-on-1 situation. The Broserweights will come out to make the save, and this led to a full-scale, all-out fight between the 7 of them, and a very good match, a very good situation to boot. Regal will make a 6-man tag. Strong was the one not involved as a legal participant in it. But this is a very good brawl between the 7 of them at the midway point of the show. Next up, we got Jordan Devlin versus Tyler Breeze. I mentioned Devlin was going to be on the show this week. Devlin versus Breeze was good. Devlin brought the fight to Breeze right away during Breeze's entrance as he did the pose on the ring apron. And Breeze really put up a fight. Breeze put up a very good fight in this match, to be honest. He really did. Breeze in the Cruiserweight division is a good look. I think Tyler Breeze is very solid in the Cruiserweight division. And Breeze gave Devlin his best shots, including the supermodel kick and the imprinter. But ultimately, it was the Devlin side which would take Breeze down for 3. But this was a very good showing by Tyler Breeze. And Devlin did his thing, so this was quality stuff. Devlin is awesome. More of Devlin, the better. Let's keep doing this. Now we get to probably, NXT saved, I think, their 2 best segments for last. First with the women, with Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, and Charlotte coming back to NXT on Full Sail. Charlotte and Bianca, they had a nice segment. They had some banter, some trash talk against each other. Charlotte showed some respect to Bianca, and then kind of dissed both her and Rhea in the process of the promo. Quality stuff. Rhea came out to say her piece. Charlotte ultimately made no decision, but both Rhea and Bianca made their intentions known that the winner of their match absolutely wants Charlotte at WrestleMania. So I like how they're continuing to stir this pot here. But Bianca and Rhea agreed on one thing. They are NXT, as opposed to Charlotte was NXT, as Rhea and Bianca would promptly drop Charlotte on her face. So one would imagine, and I kind of hope this happens, Charlotte may be in Portland to take care of some business and to get a little bit of revenge on the winner of the title match between Bianca and Rhea, as they immediately turn their attention to each other after they drop Charlotte on their face. This was good. This was a big moment. I'm here for. I like this. And if Charlotte chooses Rhea, I think it'd be very good. It'd be something really brand new. We haven't seen it. Or if it's Bianca who wins, that would also be really good. Now we get to the main event of Undisputed Era versus Ciampa and the Broserweights. Hard-hitting six-man tag, physical stuff all the way through. Roddy Strong got involved pretty much from bell to bell, and this turned into a DQ win for Ciampa and the Broserweights. Eventually, they took out Chasing the Dragon by Fish and O'Reilly to Riddle, and then high-low. Actually, that was to Dunn. And then high-low to Dunn, to Riddle there. Riddle took the second move. And it was eventually 4-on-1. Strong hit End of Heartache on Ciampa. And it looked like they were going to finish off Cole the same way that Cole did, a little bit of the same way, as they put a X marks the spot, if you will, on Ciampa's back. It looked like Cole was going to finish him off with the last shot. And just when it was about to go down, the lights go out. We get 3 rings. 2, 5, 20. Those 3 rings morph into one with the tri, meaning only one thing: the return of the Velveteen Dream. Velveteen makes his return, and Velveteen came in swinging. Double axe handle to Roddy, and then he went 1-on-4 against Undisputed Era and came out on top. Velveteen came out swinging and didn't miss. He took them all on and handled his business all the way through. But the main target is obviously Roddy Strong, as Roddy was the one that took him out in the first place, as Velveteen took that injury in the fall. So Velveteen's back with a vengeance. He came in swinging for Roderick Strong. I'm guessing this is going to be obviously TakeOver. This has to be for TakeOver Portland, Velveteen versus Roddy. So now everyone's got a dance partner as TakeOver Portland's taking shape. We've got Dakota Kai versus Tegan Knox in a street fight. I'm imagining it's going to be Velveteen versus Roddy. We're going to get the women's championship match of Bianca versus Rhea Ripley. We got the tag title match of Broserweights versus Fish and O'Reilly. We got Gargano versus Ciampa. And then, not Gargano versus Ciampa. We got Gargano versus Balor. And then we got the main event of Ciampa versus Cole for the NXT Championship. TakeOver Portland looks like it's going to be dope. What happened in AEW?
AEW Dynamite. You don't really have space on the card to have a 7th match. That's the thing. Well, champion Jake Hager and Sammy Guevara during commentary for John Moxley versus Ortiz. They have a good little match. Death Rider finishes Ortiz. 3.25 stars. But Santana attacks, gets laid out by Death Rider, teases Jericho with the keys to the car, gives it to him. He stabs Santana with the keys.
Stabbed him in the right eye.
Right in the right eye. The inner circle checks.
It was a really good promo later on in the evening by Santana.
Yes. Yes, there was a really good promo by Santana saying an eye for an eye. They're going to have a match next week.
Mm-hmm.
SCU versus Best Friends. More Dark Order shit. At the end.
Now, Daniels didn't come out of the ring for this, apparently.
Cassidy Code Red to win. So SCU is still the number one contenders. First match, Dark Order lays out SCU. Orange hits the ring. They offer him a Dark Order match. Orange refuses, and they attack. Daniels makes a save. The Dark Order refuses to attack and leaves. Then we got Britt Baker versus Yuka Second. We got these promos with MJF. Used the walk behind her line from Dusty's famous promos. And he'll whip Cody into submission before he'll never walk behind her again.
I love how MJF did his homework throughout this whole rivalry. That's what I like about this. He absolutely did his homework and with some of the stuff that he's saying in this.
Yuka Sakazaki defeats Britt Baker, but Baker lays her out with the ring bell, kicks the back of her head, knocking out a tooth, lockjaw on the bloody Yuka. And then the Elite. What were you going to say?
I'm saying Britt Baker has really become the best heel in terms of the women's wrestlers in AEW. Yes. She's absolutely become the best. And within 3 weeks, too. She did it within 3 weeks. She's become the best heel of the women's wrestlers in AEW. Very impressed.
The Butcher and the Blade and the Lucha Bros defeat the Elite. Double stomp package pile driver combo on to Hangman Page is done. Tony arrives, interviews Kenny Omega. Pac is here being a bastard, saying he left Nakazawa for dead, but he'll go after Riho, who is Omega's supposed girlfriend. And he agrees to the match. He may be a bastard, but he's not a beast. But she is. This leads to Nyla Rose attacking and powerbombing Riho onto I Am the Table, and Nyla gets the title shot next week. And then Kip Sabian, Joey Janela had a normal match here. But then next week we have Mox versus Santana, Riho versus Nyla Rose, and Omega and Page versus SCU for the tag titles. And in 2 weeks we have the Tag Team Battle Royal for the title shot. And then Cody versus Wardlow, and in 3 weeks, we have Kenny versus Pac in an Iron Man match. But Cody gets his ass whipped.
And you know what? I love how this segment was played out, too.
Yes, I do, too.
The emotional angle of it, MJF becoming the ultra heel in this situation. Now we got an emotional hook, and now everybody wants to see Cody destroy him at the pay-per-view. We got Wardlow with the last 2 shots. Ooh.
With the last, and then MJF with the last shot across the chest.
Mm-hmm. Like you saw, like the Bucks, the Elite came out. The Bucks came out. We had let's see who else.
Brandy.
Brandy came out, broke character with the whole Nightmare Collector stuff. Obviously, Brandy being married to Cody. We had Dustin Rhodes came out for part of this. We had a
Arn.
Cody. Yeah, Arn came out. Arn was the first to come out, and then it was
besides all the heels.
Yes. Yeah. Now all the heels came out to kind of watch it on stage. So it was wild, but Cody took it. And I like how it was played up of the whole night, where like Taz talked about it. Like I love how it was played out the whole night. Like, they talked about how humiliating this is, and that was the point of this, was obviously to humiliate Cody for this whole thing. But Cody took it. Cody took all 10, and now he's one step closer to the battle that he's going to have to face Wardlow in the cage in Atlanta. So
you're gonna have to defeat
this rivalry continues.
Super Bowl.
It was a good game. It was
not a legendary game.
Not a legendary one, no, but this was a good game. And it was Kyle Shanahan not learning anything from his previous mistakes. With a 10-point lead and a really good run game, and against a team who can't stop the run, you chose to stop the run yourself. You learned nothing from 28-3. You deserve to lose. Now, I will say, Pat Mahomes had a good game, and he had a great fourth quarter. But to me,
But Damian Williams.
It was absolutely Damian Williams. I think absolutely that should have been Damian Williams' award. He was the best. I think he was the best Chief on the night. Mahomes had an excellent quarter, don't get me wrong. But Damian Williams absolutely, to me, was Super Bowl MVP. 3 touchdowns, including the game winner and the one that iced it. Damian Williams was really, really good. Obviously, the signature play is a Tyreek Hill bomb, but honestly, Damian Williams was the best player for the Chiefs. I think he should have been MVP. So Kansas City wins their first title in 50 years. Andy Reid finally gets a ring. Pat Mahomes becomes the second youngest QB to get one. Ben Roethlisberger being the youngest. And the Chiefs had their parade earlier today in Kansas City. Travis Kelce had a good speech. Not Jason Kelce legendary, but it was good. They're claiming they got 1 million people at the Kansas City Chiefs parade. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not, but apparently they're claiming 1 million. And somebody decided to drive on the parade route, and they had a squad, like half the Kansas City Police Department stopped them. Oh, you didn't see this video?
No,
yeah, true story. It's on Twitter. Okay, there's 1 or 2 videos on Twitter that made the rounds in Kansas City during the parade. So that's the first one. There was a dude, somebody tried to literally drove on the parade route, right? And like had the Kansas City Police Department stop them. Several of them crashing into the car, and they all came out with their guns drawn.
Was it a high-speed chase?
Huh? No, it wasn't even high speed. It was just the fact that he was on the parade route, and like all the streets should have been blocked off, and the dude was on the parade route. He shouldn't have been. It wasn't even high speed. It was just the fact that he was he just decided to be stupid and drive on the parade route. The second one being somebody, a Chiefs fan was in one of the trees trying to get a better view of the parade, and his pants are down. So the full moon is out, right?
Oh God, no.
Kid you not? Kid you not? It's on Twitter. Barstool caught it on Twitter too. Kid you not? Full moon is out, and instead, like he's on the tree, and then all of a sudden, like he's trying to get to a higher branch. And instead, he falls probably a good 20, 30 feet out of the tree.
I thought it would have been a lot worse.
The pants are still dead. No, it had to be bad. He landed on somebody. He had to land on somebody.
I thought he would have started pooping.
No, dude landed back first. He had to land on somebody. Somebody got the moon in broad day. That's not good. That's still bad.
No, Mike. I thought he would have started pooping on the people.
Oh, that actually would have been very bad. Yes, that would have been pretty bad. That would have been pretty bad. But landing on somebody with the cheeks out, that's pretty awful. But yeah, so that's some of the highlights of the Kansas City Chiefs parade today. Then the bombshell that happened last night with the Mookie Betts trade.
Yes, the Mookie Betts.
As the LA Dodgers are determined to win the World Series for the first time since 1988, they are determined to try to win the title. So, as it turns out, Mookie Betts, and this is actually a trade for the Dodgers that wasn't all that terrible. And part of this was because of David Price. Part of this was because of the David Price deal. David Price is making a massive contract. And that's honestly why I think this deal was done and why they didn't really trade too much here, because they're paying a bunch of that deal. So Mookie Betts gets traded to – it was a 3-team trade between the Twins, the Red Sox, and the Dodgers. The gist of it is that Betts goes to L.A. Him and Cody Bellinger basically become a dynamic duo of destruction for baseballs everywhere. Kenta Maeda will be going to Minnesota. So that's a really good part of the deal. And Boston will get a little bit, get a couple prospects, one from each team.
So Boston
looks
gets
like they're going to be nice going forward. So it's actually a pretty respectable trade for Boston as they get a little bit some prospects and much needed cap relief. Also, David Price going to LA. Boston saving money. David Price and Mookie Betts going to LA, and then Kenta Maeda going to Minnesota. Maeda's going to help out the Minnesota rotation, who needed some help. So it's actually a good move I think all three teams had a pretty good move here in this deal. Obviously, LA won the deal, and Boston will finish third in the deal. But it was a good deal for all three teams. And Minnesota got some much-needed pitching. The Dodgers got to a lineup of 7 All-Stars and 2 second-year guys who are really good prospects. And the Twins get some pitching. And Boston gets some youth and save some money as they were dangerously close to luxury tax. And we're going to probably finish third in the AL East anyway with the Twins, with the Braves and Yankees. Then the Dodgers then flip Jock Peterson because their outfield was super crowded. They flipped Jock Peterson to their neighbors in the Angels. So now the Angels have a good outfield all of a sudden without Ben Trout and Peterson in it. So now the Angels making some moves, which is nice. So that's really baseball. Plus the Chris Bryant watch. He's pretty much the next guy on watch now. As the Phillies are interested in Chris Bryant, and pretty much every media person is clamoring for the Phillies to make hot and get Chris Bryant. The real question is going to be how much the price is to get him.
Probably going to be astronomical.
Considering he's got 2 years of control left, it probably is going to cost you a pretty penny. Although he's 28, is one of the best third basemen in the game, so it should cost you a penny, a pretty penny here. And I think it'll cost you Alec Baum, and it'll probably cost you a couple other dudes to make this deal hot, but I think that's the price I think it takes. Chris Bryant being a guy who's a franchise caliber player, I think it's a move you probably have to make. So we'll see if it actually happens. But that's probably the move that's gonna have to go down in this situation. Then we got a 4-team deal in the NBA.
Shall we talk about the New York Knicks and Steve Mills first?
Oh, Steve! Oh yeah. Steve Mills getting fired,
and he's targeting Masai Ujiri. Do you think Masai Ujiri is gonna go to the New York Knicks?
Nah. Why? Why would he leave? He just won a title in Toronto. Why would he leave? He's got a really good situation where he's A, won a title, and B, is on a Toronto team. The Milwaukee's the best team in the league. Toronto is still a contender. Why would he leave? Why would he leave the top of Mount Everest to go to the bottom of the Grand Canyon? That makes zero sense to me. I think he will stay right where he is. And I think he should stay right where he is. It makes zero sense for him to leave. I say he goes nowhere. So we had a 4-team deal last night as well in the NBA. And the risk of the Rockets are running a tremendous risk in this situation. So 14, 12 points. What's up?
Rockets got Rocco.
Yeah, so the 4-team deal, so between Houston, Denver, Atlanta made another deal while this show's been going on. So I'll get to that in a little bit. The Rockets, yeah, they get Robert Covington, and Clint Capella gets flipped to Atlanta. The Hawks. I like the Hawks going forward. I really do. Like this year was chalked when John Collins got suspended, but Atlanta next year, they could be real nice next year. This is a 14, 12-player deal. Denver, and for their part of the deal, they got Shabazz Napier, Kenta Bates Diop, who's a respectable center. I think he would be a good backup to Jokic, or he could start with Jokic even. Noah Vonleh and the injured guard Gerald Green. Atlanta gets Houston center Nene Hilario, so Houston trades both their centers. Minnesota gets Evan Turner in the deal as well, and Jared Vanderbilt. And the Timberwolves will also get Clint Capella. Not Clint Capella. He goes to Atlanta. And Minnesota will get there's, I believe, some picks involved here as well. So that's really
pick.
Right. So Houston gets cap space, which they needed to get some cap space. The Rockets keep the flexibility at $12 million in cap, allows them to expand the trades between now and Thursday 3 p.m. trade deadline. Houston can add a player who helps now, who take on a player for assets, and then use those to further upgrade the team. This is obvious, and a lot of people thought that D'Angelo Russell could possibly be traded and Andrew Wiggins be involved in the pick to go to Golden State, but they haven't reached an agreement. They didn't reach the agreement on the deal, so even with D'Angelo Russell clapping on even with the John Morant and Steph Curry stuff on Twitter, it's been quite a thing. But this has been quite a weird thing. A lot of stuff went down there with those trades. Meanwhile, earlier tonight, Andre Iguodala, who did not play for a while, and this was centered around the Twitter battle between John Morant and Steph Curry with some Twitter stuff. Iguodala was part of this. He refused to play for Memphis, and Iggy finally gets his wish to get out, so he goes to the Heat, and he's agreed to the trade. He agreed to a 2-year, $30 million deal. Justice Winslow's part of the deal, going back to Memphis. And let's see here. In addition, Miami, Memphis, and OKC Thunder are working on an elaborate 3-team deal that would land the Heat, both Iggy and Danilo Gallinari. Ooh, wow, that's a good trade. Jeez, that's a really good trade for Miami. Danilo Gallinari is a respectable shooter. If healthy, that could be good. He could be
targeting him.
They were targeting Rocco too, from what I understood. And they made moves. The Heat made it hot. Good moves, Miami.
Sixers are gonna get nothing.
They're gonna get shut out, and they need
Derrick Rose. And
they needed to not get
Sixers make
shut
that
out.
move, I'm fucking pissed.
Rose just got hurt actually, so he won't be in the skills thing. But yeah, trading for Derrick Rose would actually not be a terrible decision. Making any sort of respectable move would not be a terrible decision if I were the Sixers. You can't get destroyed by Miami and look that bad against the Heat and not do something. And they're gonna go into a buzzsaw.
No one respects the coach though. That's the problem.
No, I think they tune him out. I absolutely think they tune out Brett Brown. I think the problem is they can't fire him. They can't fire him yet. They can fire him after the season, but they can't fire him now. Their hands are tied. Their hands are tied until this season effectively ends. Until the season ends. At which point,
sucks.
This season they had to do what they may, and then after which you can do away with Brett Brown. I think they have to. Meanwhile, there was another deal that happened here. This happened earlier, maybe an hour and change ago. Atlanta then gets Dwayne. The Kings are going to trade Dwayne Dedmon to Atlanta for forward Jabari Parker and Alex Len. So Atlanta and making some other moves. The Kings are also sending Atlanta a 2020 and 2021 second round pick in the deal. So Atlanta's beefing up their front line. Atlanta, for the Hawks, to me, this is not about this year. I think this is about next year. Atlanta's going to build a squad for next year and really make it hot. They're out of it this year, but Atlanta's going to really be hot next year.
Yeah.
So the Hawks are going to be a real team next year, I think. And so I like this. Trae Young, John Collins. You got Clint Capella now. Dedmon's going to be a backup center. Atlanta's going to look like Atlanta's going to be a real team. I like what the Hawks are doing. I really like what Atlanta has.
What?
Twitter.com says BeastMike is where you'll find me. Yes, I'm going to watch the XFL. The Washington fan base is kind of recruited this. I kind of shouted out like, where should I put my rooting interest for the XFL? And apparently the Washington team, the Washington DC Defenders, their fan base actually reached out to me, kind of suggesting I should come aboard. So I'm taking them up on it. There's a couple dudes I like on the team. DeAndre Tompkins is on the team. I do have to cheer for Cardinal Jones, the former Buckeye. I don't know about that, but it's a thing. And Woj just put out on the during the Heat Clippers game about the Gallinari part of the deal. But yeah, no, I'm watching XFL this weekend. I think I'm gonna cheer for DC. We'll give DC a shot. But Twitter.com says BeastMike's where you're gonna find me. I'm gonna tweet about all these things and various stuff that's happening in the world of sports.
Twitter.com/DJDCooks and GITR Wrestle is where you can find me. Yeah, I'll be covering the car show.
Okay.
I'll be covering the car show this weekend, the Philadelphia Auto Show. I got press pass.
Oh, you got a press pass. Nice. All right.
Yep.
Also, good
Forging
win for
those
Penn State last night.
connections.
Also, good win for Penn State last night. As Penn State beat Michigan State, and it's got the campus buzzing in State College. It's a statement win, a signature win for Pat Chambers and his crew as they went to East Lansing and beat Michigan State in a shocking resignation from Mark Antonio that preceded this. So what a horrible day for Spartans everywhere, as the best coach in their history in basketball and in football take L's.
Yeah.
Antonio with in publicly, it looks a questionable resignation, and then Izzo and his crew losing to the Penn State at home, as Cassius Winston missed a critical free throw, which would have tied the game late, and then Penn State was able to seal it with free throws to close the deal. But yeah, that's a bad day to be a Spartan yesterday.
Bad day to be a Spartan. We're Beast Mike, this is DJ D Cooks, signing off.